pictures on the paneling, crooked near the door. You're drying glasses with a ragged that's seen more nights than me. I lean back in this corner chair where no one else can be. On the table there's a coaster, half-cold coffee in a cup, stack of chips from some old card game no one ever finished up. I remember when I stood, not sat, just waiting by that wall, running errands for the man who never had to take the fall. Carried briefcases and ledgers, fetched their coats, held every key. Learned to listen more than speak, let the silence work for me. Then one evening someone's missing, one chair empty at the head, and that space in the table stared like something just been fed. You think power's in the shouting, in the fist that hits the wood, in the toast that ends a meeting when the deals all sound so good. But it isn't in the volume, it's in who the room leans toward, in the man whose quiet nod becomes the last and final word. 'Cause the chair keeps score. Every night I take that seat, it remembers every name that had to vanish off the street. You can rise up through the thunder, you can float above the roar, but you don't outrun the wave built in these arms and legs of oak sunk in the floor. I may look like I'm in charge when the voices beg for more, but I'm just another name. The chair keeps score. There was once a younger brother, not by blood but by the way. He would stand behind my shoulder, take the heat I didn't pay. One long meeting, too much talking, too much fear inside that room. I said nothing while their glances wrote his sentence, signed his doom. Later on I stamped some papers, moved some numbers, locked the door. Came back here and let the quiet push his memory through the floor. You pour coffee, you say nothing, that's the language of this trade. Man, confess with half a sentence, leave the rest inside the shade. I'm not asking for redemption, I'm not crying to be saved. I just know this worn out cushion holds the ghost of what I've made. Yeah, the chair keeps score. Every night I take that throne, counts the times I chose the empire over mercy, over bone. You can dress it up as duty, call it order, call it war, but this wood remembers better than the stories at the door. So if I seem calm and settled when the room demands me more, just know I'm sitting where the chair keeps score. Oh, the chair keeps score. Flavorful and bitter coffee, cooling by the window frame. Ticket with a borrowed surname, folded with a steady flame. Cold pressed in the empty seat, duffel by my leather shoes. Compartment lights are blinking slow, like they got nothing left to prove. Platform sign sliding backward, metal breath and distant hum. Every mile this engine steals is one more life I won't outrun. Left you in the quiet kitchen, bare feet on the checkered tile. You were humming with the kettle, hair tied back in your old style. Wrote a note beside the sugar, 3 short lines I barely wrote. Didn't say which way I'm headed, only don't stay up to hope. In the drawer beneath the match, there's a key and folded cash. All the words I couldn't speak, pressed between that paper stash. This city keeps a careful ledger, every favor, every scar. Men like me don't fade with age, we just get found beside a car. So I move before the bullet knows my name. I leave before the crosshairs learn my face. I'd rather be a ghost on distant trains than drag you through the heat of what I've made. I built a quiet throne on crooked games. Now I walk off while the table stays in place. I won't wait to hear the muzzle curse my veins. I move before the bullet knows my name. Hallway glass reflects a stranger, wearing all my practice calm. Same old watch around his wrist, same pale line across his palm. Deals were inked in stairwell corners, elevators held their breath. I've walked corridors where laughter shook the handle close to death. Every smile that bought my silence left a number on my door. Every nod that bought my violence stacked a weight I can't ignore. Call it running, call it wisdom, call it anything you need. I call it drawing one last border where the fire can't reach your street. If I stay, the circle tightens, someone angles for their mark. If I go, you'll curse my shadow, but you won't go down in dark. So I move before the bullet knows my name. I fade into the meadow in the night. Let them toast my empty chair in room where every joke is hiding someone's fight. I'll trade the crown I never cared to claim for one clean line that keeps you out of aim. Let the city ride its ending out of sight. I move before the bullet knows my name. Last customer left an hour, maybe two. Neon on the door throws a tide crooked blue. You slide me one more coffee in a thick chill white say, rough night detective, like you've heard this all my life. My jacket's on a stool, holster hanging calm and dumb, and my bed sleeps in your drawer by the register's old song. There was a call on the wire about a door on Harbor Lane. Said a name I know too well to just file it like the same. So I parked beneath a ramp, let the engine slowly tick. Found an envelope on the backseat, folded heavy, folded thick. By the time I hit the hallway, lights were buzzing down in rows, and the man they wanted shackled was already on his toes. They sell you law as a straight line, black and white on every sheet, but the ink runs through the alleys where the real decisions meet. You can chase it like religion, you can wear it like a coat, or you can learn which part is oath and which part's carved into your throat. So I keep my badge in the drawer when the real calls start, when this town don't want procedure, just a steady hand and heart. You see a little piece of metal, think it always means one thing. I know when to flash it, when to hide it, when to let my own code sing. Yeah, I keep my badge in the drawer, keep the rules on a shorter chain. I'm the one who makes the story fit the streets that feed this town's veins. Locker room is shift change, towel sweating from the steam. New kid pulls his vest on like he's stepping in a dream. He asks me for a pointer, says, how do you stay clean? I just tell him, write it simple, don't describe more than you've seen. But I know down in the basement where the lockers never shine, there's a box of quiet evidence that never met the dotted line. In the mirror by your bottles, I see two men side by side, one still wearing fresh white stripes, one with shadows in his stride. I don't beg for absolution, don't pretend my hands are new. I just carry what I carry so this place don't swallow you. If I ever drop the shoulder, hang the coat and kill the light, there'll be corners in the station that don't make it through the night. So I keep my badge in the drawer when the hard calls come, when a clean report and justice ain't the same thing getting done. You can toast the uniform, you can curse the crooked few, but some nights this whole damn maze stands because of what I do. Yeah, I keep my badge in the drawer, walk the hallway like a flame. I'm the line between the sirens and the ones who never learn your name. plastic tag with a faded eight. Curtains barely holding back the glow from the roadside gate. There's a paper cup of coffee cooling next to your short note, suitcase by the dresser, folded bills inside my coat. I turned the deadbolt with my shoulder, let the silence settle in. Started talking to your memory in a message I won't send. They call me when it's broken, when the stain won't wash away, when the loud boys lose their courage and they need someone to stay. I don't ask too many questions, I don't need their hearts confess. I just follow quiet orders, put their trouble back to rest. You keep asking for a promise, for a door I won't walk through, but a man who stands too long here ends up underneath it too. Out there the fuel pump's ticking, highway breathing in the dark. Here is just a tired clock and your name underlined like a mark. So I leave the keys on the nightstand when the mess is finally done. Walk out down the humming hallway, gone before the rising sun. I'm the hand that wipes the table, I'm the boot that stops the slide. I fix what they can't live with, then I disappear outside. I remember your small kitchen, crooked chair and chipped white plates, how you laughed and topped my coffee while I talked of exit gates. You said one day you'll get tired of that suitcase by the door, but the only way I'm breathing is by always wanting more. There's a map spread on the bedsheet, heavy lines and dark blue pen. Every arrow leaves this highway, not a single one back in. If I ever cross that county line with no bag and no alarms, I'll come knocking like a stranger with these scarred but steady arms, till this last clean job is finished and my ledger's running clear. All I've got to send you, darling, is this voice low in your ear. So I leave the keys on the nightstand when the mess is finally done. Head out past the humming icebox, gone before the morning spun. I'm the ghost inside their trouble, I'm the calm before their slide. I fix what they can't live with, then I vanish with the tide. motel Bible in the drawer, remote with half the numbers gone, faded pattern on the carpet where a suitcase has been drawn, ice bucket sweating on the dresser, plastic cup still in their sleeve, motel key on the nightstand with a number I can't leave, your name folded on a napkin tucked inside my coat for years. Every time I almost call you, I just count my turning gears. They don't dial me for the talking, they don't call me for the show. I'm the one who parks in shadows when there's nowhere else to go. Coming after doors stop slamming, after voices lose their edge, straighten frames and clear the surfaces, check each footprint, wipe the pledge. I don't ask about the story, I just measure what it costs, make sure nothing points to no one when the whole room thinks it's lost. You live where the mail comes daily, where the neighbors know your name. I live where the curtains flutter to a late night exit flame. There's a line between our windows that no taxi ever crossed. I've been walking in circles, wearing souls on careful thoughts. I come after the noise when the shouting's dead and done. I'm the calm that wipes the edges, I'm the last unblinking one. I'm the ghost inside the hallway, I'm the lock they never see. I can leave a room like nothing, carry secrets out for free. Power's not in starting fire, just to prove you've got a voice. It's in owning what you're cleaning when you come after the noise. Gas station sign across the highway, buzzing green above the pumps, vending machine humming softly, casting squares of colored lumps. My duffel leaning by the mirror, zipper teeth all lined in place. One more bill inside the lining, one more nameless little case. Map folded in the glove box, line drawn out beyond this town. If I drive past where they know me, I don't plan on turning round. There are things I've left behind me no white towel could ever take. Fingerprints in people's memories, quiet promises I break. But the one file I've protected, left unwritten, clean and clear, is the life I never started in that small house where you sleep near. I come after the noise, but I'm tired of coming last. I've been erasing other stories just to outrun my own past. I'm the ghost inside the hallway, I'm the hand that kills a trace, but I can't wipe out your shadow from the lines around my face. Power's a night and staying nameless till you fade into the void. It's in driving towards your doorway, not just drifting after noise. Last train number blinking low, vending machine in the corner, throwing out a soft white glow. One paper cup of coffee, cooling on the middle seat. Small suitcase by my boot heel, folded ticket by my knee. Departure board keeps changing, but my name is never shown. That's the way I always liked it, when the city called me home. Step across the yellow line as the carriage doors slide wide. Feel the station falling backwards when I climb the steps inside. We used to move through corridors where no one said my name, carrying sealed brown folders that could tilt the whole street's game. If a meeting needed silence, I was waiting near the door. If a promise needed weight, I was a weight behind the floor. This city paid in favors more than paper or in gold. Put a certain kind of quiet on a man who stayed controlled. But the cracks behind the marble started whispering too loud. So I bought one simple ticket, left before I joined that crowd. Don't mistake the way I'm leaving for a man who lost his nerve. I'm just choosing where the story bends and swerves. I'm a night train runner, not a runaway. I pick the track, I choose the hour, then I walk away. When the city wants a ghost, it remembers what I've done. Tonight it gets my outline and the rhythm of my run. You can call it disappearing, I just call it changing roads. I'm a night train runner, keeping both my hands on hold. Yellow fabric seats in tight rows, coat hung on a metal hook, corridor door half closed. Ticket lives inside my wallet, there's a return I never tore. Little printed destination that won't see me at its door. Phone face in the darkness, one unsent line on the screen. Don't wait up for explanations, just remember where I've been. I lock the words behind my thumb and let the cursor fade. Watch the fences turn to dark lines as the city slides away. Tracks run back toward the towers, out ahead into the black. Steel don't care which way you face, it can always take you back. I could ride this line in circles, be the rumor that returns. Let the old life open arms and pretend it never burned. But I know what loyalty costs when the mask begins to slip. Better to be missed in stories than to sink inside that ship. I'm a night train runner, when the last lights start to dim. When the suits behind the windows raise a glass to what was him. They can write a softer version, file my name in lighter tone. Say I left to chase some daylight and to build a quieter home. But the reason that I'm leaving is the part I still control. I'm a custody of my soul. Let this carriage keep on swaying. Let that station fade to none. If this city ever calls me, you can talk to what I've done. You can talk to what I've done. Soft light on the ledger, one lamp over my hands, columns full of quiet stories nobody understands. There's a half-warm glass of water by the corner of the sheet, wall clock on the woodwork, second hand that never sleeps. Safe door hums behind me, guarding things we never named. I sit here in this office while you work the miles of street. You knock and never enter till I buzz you through the door. You bring the night's collection, every bill and every score. I glance at scraped up knuckles as you drop the folded roll. I count without a tremor, mark the margin, keep control. You think the ones who pay us are the ones who fear us most, but the names that miss my columns are the ones that turn to ghosts. Money moves like a rug down these figures, down these roads. Every fave, every warning has a cost that no one shows. Every debt has a shadow, and I ride who takes the fall. From this high and quiet office, far above your backroom brawl, I'm the calm inside your chaos, I'm the pause before you run. I keep the balance steady, and I live with what I've done. Songs we did last winter still burn bright behind my eyes, like the night we trimmed a number and a man slipped through the lines. I remember how you started, just a kid with sharpened pride. Now your name sits near the red ink on the margin by my side. If you think this game is endless, take a look at how it ends. Every face along this letterhead was once one of my friends. One more call, one more favor, one more file to disappear, one more courier in the lobby, brushing city dust from cold. Listen Listen close before you walk out. Hear me clearer than before. If you live by what I balance, you get filed inside this door. Every dead has a shadow, and I write who takes the fall. From this quiet glass-walled office, staring down this endless sprawl. I'm the calm inside your chaos. I'm the hand that never shakes, but I walk away in silence before they total my mistakes. Yeah, every dead has a shadow, and tonight I'm warning you. Either learn to count the cost, or the cost comes counting you.
Second bell on the platform, last call on the midnight line. Stepped up with a small bag, left the rest of it behind. Seat by the aisle, back to the glass, eyes fixed on the door. Habit from 1,000 rooms, I don't trust a quiet floor. Ticket folded in my palm, name printed clear and straight. Your letter in my inside coat, the one I never mailed too late. Out there in that sleeping town, I ran meetings after dark. Stacked my favors in a notebook, every promise left a mark. Men who never liked the daylight used my number like a key. When a problem had a heartbeat, they would slide it over me. I could feel the circle closing, pressure tightening like a ring. So I used my last good contact just to buy this leaving thing. I don't run from the fire, I just step out of the room before the smoke turns to sirens and the deals go boom. I ride this night train, still facing the door. I don't run from the light, I just leave before the war. Every mile between us cuts deep but keeps my code. Yeah, I ride this night train, taking silence down the road. Your picture in my wallet, corner soft from too much thumb. You kept asking for the daylight, I kept answering with none. Left a key on your table, One short line beneath your name said you deserve a steady man, not a shadow in this game. I could stay and pull you under when old ghosts come down the hall, or I leave you with the quiet and not take the weight of it all. Lights flicker in the hallway, metal hum beneath my feet. God moves slow through the carriage, checks the numbers, keeps the beat. There's an empty seat beside me where your head could find a home, but this life that rides inside me never learned to not be alone. So I ride this night train, still facing the door. I don't beg for forgiveness, I just settle up the score. Every secret that I carry is a tax on what I've owed. Yeah, I ride this night train, letting go of what I owed. I ride this night train, last exit I can't control. I don't run from the life, I just leave it on my own.
Fluorescent hum in the hallway, long row of lockers on my right, badge on a hook in the metal, gun in a drawer out of sight, styrofoam cup on the counter, coffee dried into a ring, Case files stacked by the exit, red stamps telling me what to bring. Clock above the steel detector, blinking 1 past dead of night. I thumb the switch on the light bank, leave 1 strip of ceiling light. I've walked this place in uniform, I've walked it with no name at all. Shook hands in the back staircase, took calls in the basement hall. Sometimes I move a schedule, sometimes I move a list of doors. Trade a knock for quiet footsteps so a man can clear his floors. I write reports that lean a little, tilt the picture just enough. Keep the bosses chasing thunder while I'm steering from the cuff. The law's supposed to own you, keep you bolted to one track. But I learned to feel the handle, pull it forward, pull it back. Every rule they wrote around me turned to links I learned to see. Now I'm walking with that chain folded quiet into me. I keep a leash on the law, drag it slow when I decide. Choose which doors get kicked wide open, which can keep their secrets tight. I'm the calm behind the siren, I'm the hand that checks the key. I can tilt the scales at midnight and walk out like I'm still free. Power's not in flashing metal, just to prove what you can draw. Isn't holding back the thunder with a leash on the law. Concrete pillars in the garage, yellow numbers on the stone, tail lights dripping down the ramp, someone pacing on their phone. Manila folder on my front seat, rubber band about to snap. One more name that bought a favor, one more line I let unwrap. Underpass along the river, rusted railings, seeping seams, boots on gravel, distant traffic like a low mechanical stream. There was a night they tagged a kid I knew by another name. I could have slid his folder sideways, let the river take the blame. But I'd cashed his last 3 chances, keeping heat off where he stayed. So I watched him close that jacket, that's a debt I never paid. I keep a leash on the law, yeah, but it keeps a leash on me. Every file I've ever twisted rides along where I can see. I'm the shadow in the doorway when the lights are burning raw. I can tilt the world at midnight, but I answer to that claw. Power's not in walking spotless like you never saw the flaw. It's in owning what you've been when you put a leash on the law.
laughing on a bleak counter, cracked chrome on the corner stool, coffee cooling in a white mug, radio talking low and cool. You're staring at your car outside under buzzing yellow light, Duffel waiting in the backseat, one-way fuel to chase the night. Motel key is on the table, key tag just says room 4. Scuffed boots tapping restless patterns on this sticky checkered floor. I see hunger in your posture, like the road already won. And I see the kind of questions that I carried when I was young. I've driven down these endless ribbons with a trunk that wasn't clean, paid and folded quiet money far from where I'd ever been. Learned that favors on a back road always come with hidden fees. Learned that friends who talk too easy are the first ones on their knees. Glove box full of folded papers, numbers nobody should read, names that never hit a ledger, quiet debts and quiet greed. If you move like this for long enough, you start losing track of days. But a man who walks on nothing gets erased along the way. 'Cause this highway keeps a notebook in the dark behind your eyes. Every promise that you break shows up in lines you can't revise. This is my highway code, written in broken white lines. Keep your word and guard your face, leave your full name behind. Don't chase every easy dollar, don't outrun your own soul. You wanna walk away a man, you learn to pay, now lose control. I'm an outlaw still out breathing, 'cause I held to what I swore. This is my highway code, take it now, don't ask for more. You keep watching that ignition, like it's calling out your name, like the road is some beginning that'll wash away your shame. But the miles don't make you cleaner, they just thin out who you are. Trade your laughter for a steady jaw and shadows in your car. You can learn it in a courtroom, learn it staring at the floor, learn it watching paint grow older on a locked and numbered door. Or you take these rules I'm giving, cut them somewhere in your mind. 'Cause a man who walks this highway needs a line he will not slide. Never promise what you can't keep, never talk when you feel fear, never mix your love with business, never bring your home too near, never trust the rest of strangers, never brag about your load. And remember, it's your choices draw the map of this long road. This is my highway code, carved in the shoulders and signs. Keep your word and keep your distance, leave your birth name behind. Don't sell out for small attention, don't let greed take full control. You wanna leave on your 2 feet, keep a strong hand on your soul. I'm an outlaw still out breathing, 'cause I stayed inside my law. This is my highway code, walk it right.
don't walk at all.
Lamp buzzing over stains in the ceiling. Styrofoam cup of cold black coffee by my knee. There's a road map out, edges soft from all the dealing, and a letter with your name that no one's ever gonna see. Motel picture hanging crooked over peeling paint. Radio on low with some sad old singer fame. Boots by the door, dust from towns I never named. Key on the nightstand, catching every other flame. Wanted dinners, quiet rooms, a steady life. I kept coming back with new cuts from a different knife. Not the kind you hold in your hand, but the kind you hide inside, where every favor owed becomes another place to slide. I've shaken hands and lots behind that humming neon glare. Made decisions in the rear view, you don't need to breathe in there. So I drew a line between your world and where I roam. Now the only thing we share is this letter I won't take home. I leave before the questions ever finish in their eyes. Learn the safest way to love is mostly in disguise. So I leave the key on the nightstand when it's time to disappear. I'm the rumor on the highway that was never really here. I'm the name they half remember when the story's turning dark. Then they swallow it and stare back down at circles on the bar. Yeah, I leave the key on the nightstand. That's the mark of how I move. Keep the danger in my chest and let your whole world stay smooth. There's a suitcase packed with just enough to cross 3 states. Extra plates in the glove box for different kinds of fates. I've got numbers in my memory I'll be clearing before dawn. Faces that won't ever know the reason I was gone. If you wake up with my name like a weight behind your teeth, just remember every mile I drive is one you'll never meet. I could pull you through the shadow
of the choices that I made, or I can be the cut I take so your light never fades. Some men build their monuments and pictures on a wall. Mine are doors that close behind me, empty footsteps down the hall. If there's one thing I can give you from this crooked, quiet side, it's the distance between your soft life and the roads I have to ride. So I leave the key on the nightstand, turn the handle soft and slow, let the hallway hum behind me and the parking lot glow. I'm the shadow in the windshield, I'm the taillights thin and thin, I'm the man who keeps his promise by not letting you fall in. Yeah, I leave the key on the nightstand, that's the code I have to keep. You'll be safe inside your sunrise while I'm driving where it's deep.
Neon hums the counter, coffee cooling by my hand, cracked red vinyl in this booth, like every diner in this land. Chrome napkin holder catching just a sliver of my face, clock above the pie glass ticking slow but keeping pace. Out the window by the palms, only moss and one last truck, and a motel key on my table saying maybe I could change this luck. She's asleep in room 11 with the curtains barely drawn, breathing slow like nothing ever chased her past the break of dawn. On the dresser there's a suitcase with my jacket folded tight, next to it a worn out picture from a softer, cleaner night. In the glove box by the highway there's an envelope with names, and the men behind those letters don't forget their quiet game. I've been living off these exit signs, off white lines and unpaid vows, every mile another story that the daylight won't allow. So I exit before dawn, for the sky can call me home, for her eyes can read the truth of where my hands have had to roam. I keep moving
down this ribbon-cut in stone. I'm the ghost behind the cargo, but I ride this road alone. If I stay until the sunrise, it'll nail me to her lawn. So I finish up my coffee and I exit before dawn. Yeah, yes, I exit before dawn. There were nights I felt untouchable, just a whisper on the wire, trading favors at the back doors, drawing circles round the fire. But the last job left a mark I can't wash out with any pay. Now her heartbeat in that motel is the price I brought this way. I could turn back to the bedside, let her arms pull me to ground, or I walk out to the engine where my other life is found. I'm not begging for forgiveness, I'm just choosing how I fall. I can't handle all these secrets, can't have them come to make that call. Out here power's just the distance between you and what you've done, and the man who keeps it measured is the last surviving one. So I exit before dawn, leave the key there with the check. Let the sunrise hit a window, not the ghosts around my neck. I keep rolling past the billboards where the city stories spawn. Let them whisper that I vanished when the stars were almost gone. If they're coming for my shadow, they can chase this stretch and yawn, but you'll never hear them knocking, 'cause I exit before dawn. Yeah, 'cause I exit before dawn. Glass walls over this city, carpet soft under your shoes. You stand in front of my desk like a man with something to prove. There's a photo by your elbow, pen lined up on the pad. My jacket on the leather chair, tie loosened just a tad. Down below, the traffic glows like a slow electric vein. Up here it's quiet enough to hear the ice hit the glass like rain. I didn't start with this view,
Climbed it step by step, counted every step in hallways, smelled like dust and air. Back rooms with crooked tables, cheap clocks nailed to the wall. Learned to read a man's intention by the way he took a call. Shook hands that never trembled while their eyes searched for the door. And I turned a little harder every time they asked for more. You think it's all about numbers, digits glowing on a screen, but the only math that matters is what you lose to stay this clean. Every name you write beside you moves another name away, and every quiet signature's a debt you're gonna pay. This is the penthouse code, written sharp and cold. If you want a view from here, you pay it all alone. You keep your word like armor when the hallway lights run low. You live with heavy choices, only very few can know. You stand when doors swing open, never show what you don't hold. If you want this hide, you live the penthouse code. There's a safe behind that painting, there's steel beneath that drawer, but the thing that kept me breathing were the lines I never tore. I don't touch what I can't cover, don't promise what I doubt, don't bring a man in closer if I'll have to cut him out. You're the first outlet that's near me, first to see the office late. So hear me when I tell you, kid, this floor is more than real estate. One night they'll come with questions, eyes that circle what you built. You'll feel old ghosts pulling, tugging on you like a guild. As the night you'll hear my voice under every deal you read. Hold the line or lose it all, choose your code or wind up dead. Cause it's the penthouse code running in your veins. If you want the view from here, you live with all the change. You keep your word like armor when the boardroom doors are closed. You drink alone with secrets nobody else will know. You stand when pressure rises, never fold, never implode. If you want this hide, you live the penthouse code.
You're standing in my doorway, and with that fire in your eyes, city leaking through the blinds like a field of quiet lies. Desk lamp burning over paper, figures marching down in red. There's a notebook by my elbow, full of what we left unsaid. You keep rolling both your shoulders like there's something on your mind. I watched hungry men like you walk in and walk out of this grind. Every favor has a column, every promise has a cost. Every name that lands in here marks the found or marks the lost. See, there's a margin by the corner where the lines just fade to white. Those are stories that got settled somewhere private in the night. You think power's in the shouting, in the ones who fill the room. I've been adding up the silence while they're drinking to their doom. You say you're ready for the weight, you want your cut of all this sky, but there's a mark on every page you sign, and never ask me why. 'Cause a legend never lies, boy, it remembers what you do. All the debts you think you buried keep on walking back in view. You can paint it up in gold ink, you can smile and shake their hands, but the legend never lies, boy, it knows exactly where you stand. When the talk turns thin and level, and the air goes cold and dry, it's not the noise that makes the verdict, it's the ledger on your side. There's a folder on a table with your fingerprint in black. Tonight you step into a circle, and you might not step it back. I've arranged the chairs and faces, cut the number of loose parts. I can't promise you the ending, but I can balance out the charts. If you hear your name get softened, if the jokes all sound the same, remember I'll be at this desk, staring straight into the frame. I've seen sharper men than both of us fall crooked for a thrill, trading everything they stood on for a louder, shorter spill. I'm not here to play your father, I just track the turning tide, but I won't deny I'd rather keep you on the living side. 'Cause the legend never lies, boy, it remembers what you do. All the debts you think you buried keep on walking back in view. You can raise a glass and toast them, you can let the moment shine, but the legend never lies, boy, it keeps score on every line. When the talk turns thin and level, and they look you in the eye, if your balance breaks the number, it's the ledger draws the line.
face down on the table feels heavier than it should. Street light leaking through the blinds makes a cross on the floor. Every time that pattern hits, I remember what it's for. I've been selling little mercies, trading blind spots in the dark, till the paperwork in envelopes started sounding like my heart. There's a name in my notebook, shouldn't be in that line. Brother from the early days when we walked the same thin spine. Quick hands and a crooked grin, always just outside the frame. Now they whisper that he's drifting into things I never claimed. I can look the other way when a hungry man finds bread, but a man gone cold for pride, that's a weight that's in my head. So I'm counting every favor like chips on a tilted floor, knowing once I make this call, there's no quiet like before. I walk both sides of the bed, but I don't cross my own line. I can bargain with the shadows, but my soul is still mine. You can pay for my silence when this city turns its head, but I won't turn my back on truth just to keep a brother fed. Pen marks on a folded sheet, report that I never filed. It could sink a certain captain, save some kid still running wild. I keep locks on different drawers, keys split between my coats. Every fact another way, I balance in my notes tonight. I slide one page aside, let another find the light. He'll call it sudden weather, I'll call it finally right. I want this leather shoulder rig longer than my own name, carried stories in its metal that could rearrange the game. But there's one line in my promise, money never bends or buys. When a friend steps over it, I still choose where judgment lies. I walk both sides of the bed, but I don't cross my own line. I've been dealing with the wolves, still decide what's yours or mine. You can buy softer questions, you can buy a missing thread, but I won't bury my conscience just to keep a brother fed. I walk both sides of the bed in this bar at closing time. I can bargain with the darkness, but I won't sell out my spine. Yeah. Back room of a quiet bar, door clicks off behind my back. Yellow bulb above the pool cues, paint is peeling down in cracks. My badge is in my pocket, not shining on my chest tonight. Case files in a rubber band, corners curled from too much light. There's a glass ring on the ledger where the owner signs his name. Keys to an unmarked car sitting by a stack of claims. You just pour in something clear, letting silence set the pace. I can see the old bridge metal in the window's crooked frame. I was clean ones, straight lines, wrote reports the way they taught. Every cuff and every booking, just another quiet notch. Then I found which door stayed open if you never wrote the time. Our favor in the shadows kept the trouble off the line. Got to picking who walked home and who took that one last ride. Got to sitting in that office with a law band to my side. My partner used to shake his head, say I walked too close tonight, but he backed my word in hearings, swore I always got it right. There's a line out by the river where the truth and stories part, and a man who lives between them stars to split inside his heart. 'Cause I keep the law on a leash in the dark, like a dog in my heel while I'm dealing in the park. I'm the one they call at midnight when the ink won't stay, when they need a steady hand to make it read their way. I can make a siren quiet with a look and a nod. Yeah, I keep the law on a leash with these deals and this facade. That night under the bridge beam, flashing blue on rust and stone, we were standing by an engine that was cooling down to chrome. He was talking about transfer, about leaving all this mess, about kids and clean beginnings, and a house that faced the west. I took one step to the railing when I heard the tires cry. Saw a shape cut through the floodlights, knew a death was coming by. By the time I drew my weapon, by the time the noise was clear, he was down beside the pillar and the dead was in my ear. Don't mistake this for a breakdown, I'm not here to fall apart. I still walk into the station with a folder and a heart, but there's ink that never dries, and there's names that never talk, and there's deals that buy you power, but they cost you when you walk. So I keep the law on a leash in the dark, like a chain in my hand with my print on the mark. I'm the one who signs the paper when the storm rolls through, making sure that quiet river never says what it knew. If you ever see me smiling in a hallway of stone, just know I keep the law on a leash and I answer
alone. Last stool at the end of the counter, leg a little short of the bar. Last drink of the drill of us, till the bed on freezing. Most men off. Yeah, I'm hungry now. Lives on games and die. Like you were still alive from streets of took a seat, but I can see you in the glasses of my soul. Play the room all night. Wise Bill, one journey different men. Some learned how to count their step. Some walked out and never came again. I used to sit where you are now, jacket then my jaw too hard. Thought the world would be folding open if I push it with one more card. Then I learned the quiet grammar of who leaves and who comes back. How a favor bought on promise puts a shadow on your track. This ain't just a bar, kid, it's a classroom after dark. Every nod, every silence leaves a footprint, leaves a mark. You can drink and miss a lesson, you can laugh and miss the load, or you can listen between the notes for the bar's too cold. I live by a bar's too cold, a carved low where the lights don't reach. Keep my back against this wall and let my stories teach. I'm the man behind this guitar, turning warnings into songs. If you wanna walk this life and still know where you belong, power's not in getting louder when the room begins to shake. It's in knowing when to stand and which promises you make. Yeah. 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 There was a night a younger me chased noise into a narrow lane. Met a man with easy money, smooth advice for easy gain. He said, all you need is nerve, I can dress you like you're made. But his gaze was counting negatives while his smile was counting trade. I walked out with heavier pockets, left a friend to hold the bill. Next week, the same friend's jacket hung here, empty, hanging still. So I keep his old guitar pick tape beneath this wooden edge. Every time my fingers find it, that's another quiet pledge. Not to trade out all my people just to sit a higher chair. Not to trust a softened offer that won't meet me in the glare. I live by a bar stool, cold scratch small, where the stains run long. Hold this seat at the far end, turn my scars into a song. You can learn it if you're watching, when the room leans toward the door. When a man decides he's finished and he's not coming back for more. Power's not in chasing legends till they grind you in their low. It's in leaving with your spine straight in the bar stool, cold you hold. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Desk lamp draws a small circle in a room of polished dark. Ledger open on the desktop, every column like a scar. Window shows the sleeping towers, dots of gold along the spine. Safe door closed beside my shoulder, heavy steel is guarding time. Fountain pen above the paper, unsent words that start with friend. Photo frame turned to the table, I don't need your eyes again. There's a shadow by the drawer line, where a cold shape loves to sit. But the real weight's in these pages, and the name I buried in. We were just two quiet soldiers, moving cases up the stairs. You would carry all the metal, I would balance all the shares. I learned how to move the lightning through a bank of silent wire. Learned to keep the front room smiling, keep the heat from certain fires. And then the numbers started talking, they said someone had to fall. Pressure building from the outside, someone had to take the call. So I shifted just a digit, let the trail move through my hand, let the story draw an arrow where your signature would land. Paper never shows the bruises, ink don't tremble when it lies, but the tally doesn't sleep, it keeps its mark behind your eyes. Keeps it all off the books, move a fortune with a pencil and a careful second look. Every secret in the city runs through columns that I spin. I can hide it from the world, but your name stays under my skin. All the power in the silence, all the dirt on tidy hooks. I can balance every legend, but I can't write always come from somewhere with a number for a name. Short lines on a folded paper, never asking who to blame. I send money in an envelope, never sign it with my hand. Just a seal and quiet figure, like a ghost still in the plan. Boss shakes mine across the conference, says I keep his kingdom clean. He don't see the extra margin where your line still burns in me. Every night I lock this office, spin the dial and kill the light, but the columns walk beside me down the hallway every night. Never owe what you can't cover, never promise what you can't pay. Every digit has a shadow if you aim it the wrong way. Every comma is a crossroad, every zero hides a debt. Every quiet little favor is a thing you won't forget. I'm the man who keeps it all off the books, turn the city into numbers with a hard, unshaken look. I can clear a dozen ledgers, make the worst of sins look thin, but there's one line in the margin that keeps cutting from within. All the power in the silence, all the dirt on tidy hooks. I can hold this world together, but I can't write you off the book. Desk lamp paints a circle on this old dark wooden grain. Blinds cut up the city lights in silver crooked lanes. Your jacket's on the backrest, you're leaning like you're 10 feet tall. Blue heel tapping at the carpet like you're ready for a brawl. There's a ledger by my elbow, every page a quiet scar. Safe door sitting half a turn from opening too far. I turn the key inside the lock, let the hallway voices fade. In this room we talking truths about the deals that we have made. You've been running, little Larry, bringing envelopes and names. Think the muscle and the noise is how you carve out your own claim. But the real weight sits in numbers. Who gets cut and who gets fed? Which loose end gets tied in silence? Which bad promise stays unpaid? There was once a man before you who kept pushing past the mark, tried to bend the code for profit and brag loud about the dark. I still sign his old agreements. He looks back from this same glass. He's a warning in the margins, how fast golden boys can pass. You're staring at the skyline like it's something you can own, but power's just the things you carry and the lines you leave alone. I'm the hand that draws the lines you don't cross. Quiet ink, heavy code, measure profit and loss. If you wanna breathe up here, you don't gamble my trust. You move light around the borders, keep your temper in the dust. You can swagger in the alleys, you can roll to the boss, but in this room I mark the lines you don't cross. There's a folder on this desktop with your habits, dates, and debts. Every shortcut that you've taken, every time you've placed a bet. You thought nobody saw the extra stack you slipped inside your coat. But this city keeps a ledger, and I balance every note. But I don't shout, I don't go hunting just to sharpen up my teeth. I move pieces when I have to, and I sign what stays beneath. If I let you keep on climbing with that storm behind your eyes, you bring thunder to this doorway. Neither one of us survives. So listen when an older man who's carried iron weight says the hardest part of power is the anger you don't wake. You don't prove that you're a legend by how quickly streets turn red. You prove you understand the code by walking back from where it led. I'm the hand that draws the lines you don't cross. Quiet pen, steady heart, counting every hidden cost. If you want your name remembered, there's a price you adjust. You stay just behind the edges, keep your hunger under trust. You can play the eager soldier, you can polish up your gloss, but remember who controls the lines you don't cross. Bar lights out, just a cooler in the hallway humming low. You're wiping down the counter like there's nowhere else to go. Back room doors half shut, but you know the way inside. Safe against the corner wall, ledger open, pages wide.
fountain pen and reading glasses, jagged on the chair, single bulb above the table, throwing shadows in the air. You ask me why I'm always last to leave and lock that door. I say somebody's gotta sit right here and keep the score. He was laughing in that corner, boots up on this same old desk. Called me brother when I showed him how to make the numbers stretch. Taught him how to move in quiet, how to hide the extra weight, how to turn a small-time favor into something like a game. Told him never sign your name to what you wouldn't die to claim. He just tapped the edge of this book when I wrote down his new game. Now his coffee ring still printed on the oak beside my hand, but his chair's been sitting empty since the night it hit the fan. You see ink in simple columns in a quiet little book. I see eyes between the lines every time I take a look. I'm the man who keeps the score behind this plain old door. Every favor, every shadow brushed across this worn out floor. If the balance leans to red, I don't flinch or beg for time. I just tighten up the lines and make the numbers fall in line. Let the loud ones wear the story, let the tough ones chase the war. When the doors are closed, it all comes back to the man who keeps the score. You remember how he'd tip you with a folded little note, how he'd joke about the weather, tug the lapel of his coat. Now there's just a faded circle where his glass once left a stain, and a list of old agreements with his initials by the name. I could say it wasn't my call, that the streets just chose the meal, but these fingers turned the pages, these hands steadied every deal. So I take the midnight numbers as a weight I choose to bear. Count the money, count the losses, count the ghosts that gather there. Someone's always at the table when the lights are burning down. Someone weighs the quiet pieces, who stands up and who goes down. You can call it cold or crooked, say my soul is out of line, but the mess will find a keeper, and tonight that keeper's mine. I'm the man who keeps the score, that's the oath I can't ignore. Every rumor, every secret drifting through this office door. If the balance leans to red, I don't run or ask for grace. I just straighten every column till it stares me in the face. Let the bosses wear the glory, let the hard ones work the floor. When the lights go out, it still belongs to the man who keeps the score.